Ben K, Charlie FC's groundsman, and I'm with Jon Raymond, who's currently the facilities manager. Is that right? Yeah.
That's me. Yeah.
Up at the Rodney Parade.
Yeah, over in nice dry Wales.
Yeah. So can you just give us a bit of an introduction of yourself, please, mate?
So basically, I'm the facilities manager, like Ben said, at Rodney Parade. Home with 4 teams. To be honest, it was great, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Been there for 8 years now. Been there for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And enjoying every minute of it.
So what teams have you got that play on the pitch?
So we have professional rugby in the Dragons Rugby.
Yeah.
Then we have Newport County, obviously Football League 2. Then we have Wales Women, International Seniors. And then we have semi-professional Newport RFC. So quite challenging.
Yeah. So it can get really busy then in a week.
Yeah, quite challenging from the months of August up until probably the first week of May.
Yeah.
Normally I have at least 2 fixtures a week. And yeah, it is what it is, but we all enjoy our job. So
do you think you got the hardest job in groundsmanship?
Nah, not when you enjoy the job like I do, nothing's hard.
Yeah, so you've been there now for 10 years, yeah? So have you worked your way up through the ranks, as they say?
Yeah, so about 15 years ago, I started off being a fan.
Yeah.
Then I became a ball boy.
All right.
And after that, then I got off the job. Now, kind of managing director, Mark.
Yeah.
Then I've worked my way up. I've gone up to being head assistant groundsman, and I've gone into the facility side of it then, just to learn a bit more about the business and broadening my experiences.
So are you a football fan or a rugby fan or both?
Both, to be fair. I guess it's great that on a Saturday I get to watch the 2 sports I enjoy the most. I get paid to watch them, really.
Yeah.
I've been pretty close to the action.
Yeah, I think that helps. I mean, a love of the sport as well makes you appreciate kind of getting the pitch ready for the guys and that. I mean, so could you just maybe talk to us maybe about how like a working week would be? What games you would have at the weekend? How do you prep for them? How do you repair them in such a short space of time to get them ready for the next, maybe the day after, or a continuous run of games?
Yeah, so I started off now with this week. So obviously Monday, Tuesday with us this week now is pretty much prepping the pitch now, rolling it, aerating it ready. And then to be fair, tomorrow when we tend to stay off it to give it a day just to recover naturally. Yeah. Then Thursday, Friday, then that's when we get ready for our match prep, which is again giving it a double roll. And then also obviously the main pitch mark. And on Saturday then, obviously in Wales it tends to rain a lot, so on match day we tend to cut it if we can, but most match days down with us is raining. Yeah. And then so we have a game Saturday now, which is rugby union. Right, okay. So that's all posted up, all ready to go. That kicks off at 5:30, so that finishes around about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Yeah. And it's post down, green out. Then I'm pretty much in. Honda and have a clean up the best we can. Yeah. Then it's get home for a bit, get a couple of hours sleep. In our beds, not on the pitch like yourself, Ben. And after that, then it's basically come on a Sunday morning, and then we'll divot the whole field. Now this time of year, with the temperatures on our side, we tend to sand and seed. Yeah. And all the work trying to gain some extra recovery. Yeah. And then we'd go home, and then on Monday, then we'd come back in. Then again, it's the one day for match prep. We'd have to roll it, mark it, and then it's 3 o'clock come kick off. Mm-hmm. And then again, it starts all over again. Then the date gets closer and closer. Yeah. We got another game on a Tuesday, I think we have. So it's pretty intense, but again, there's nothing better for me personally hitting every match day with a pitch up in as best as possible. Yeah. Like, I mean, we do have the challenges of we've had a few games this year with 30 mil of rain on. Yeah. But again, they've still gone ahead, so that's always a positive for us. So again, so if you've got a Saturday game, then a Sunday game, how many hours are you actually spending in work? I'd probably say we would probably ask 2 16-hour shifts back to back. Really? So including sleeping. So we probably get up at 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Probably look to leave about 11, 12 o'clock. Yeah. Saturday night then, and then home a couple of hours and back in again. Then Sunday 6 o'clock in the morning.
So again,
I think what it is with that, like, people don't tend to see like the little things in a little task of like say taking a post down and putting them back up.
Yeah, well, at time
takes about like an hour and a half to do that.
Yeah,
because obviously we have a safety procedure to follow, and we can't take no shortcuts because they are heavy things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So even things like that, we take an hour and a half off that, and as you know, then when it comes to marking the pitch and stuff, it all adds up, and that's what tends to affect us the most when it comes to our pitch, because we haven't got the recovery time or like a day or two to go over divoting it properly. We literally could have 4 or 5 hours trying to divot the whole pitch, and especially in the winter months after the rugby match, that could be a pretty tough ask. And
yeah, of course.
There's nothing worse on a groundsman than just walking over a divot because you haven't got time to put it back.
I know, mate. I know. So how many staff do you have on a match day with you then?
So effectively, there's 4 of us full-time ground staff.
Yeah.
I cover facilities as well in our job hall.
Yeah.
And then we do have 2 volunteers on a match day.
Yeah.
So they're great to help, and we appreciate anyone who helps us. Especially on when they volunteer. We have got they actually was volunteers. We now pay them on an hourly basis.
Yeah, yeah.
So apart from that, yeah, that's all we have. This, especially with COVID now, obviously it's much stricter. We have to have obviously regular weekly testing.
Yeah.
To ensure that, and obviously there's no risks being taken.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to be fair as well, mate, from yourself and the guys, that's some commitment to do, because it does kind of eat into your social life, really. Do you know what I mean? You tend to live your life at work and that. I mean, I'm quite lucky that my missus is quite understanding of kind of what it entails. I mean, I bore her to death. I'll be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Trying to explain what goes on and that. But end of the day, we do it because of the love for our work. Do you know what I mean? So,
and I think that goes a long way. I think you have to be passionate being a groundsman. Like this weekend now, Easter weekend with us, like we've got Good Friday off, and then the rest, then we're all in on the 2 holes, getting the pitch ready for the Monday.
We do, man. The thing is though, you can't not do the things that you need to do, if that makes sense. It's like today. I mean, today's my day off, but I've actually been in work all morning because we had a BTEC session on the pitch, and I knew I needed to clean it up after the game. So really, you never get your time back. Doesn't matter, like if you work 35, but if you're contracted to 35, 37, 40 hours, you do way more than that. I mean, you do get kind of a good screw out of us if
definitely. And I think, as you know yourself as well, you don't really switch off, because if you have a day off, you're on your phone looking at the weather.
Yeah.
Ensuring like that. Okay, I'm up even on the Wednesday, be games on a Friday, and you need to, if our rain gets pushed back a day to the Thursday, is the pitch open enough?
Yeah.
Can you do any more? So, I don't think. There's a lot of stuff with our job, being a groundsman, that goes on after work as well, mentally.
It does, mate.
Like, I think people just think it's not one of them jobs that I think you can just go home at 8 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon and just down 2 holes.
Yeah.
As we know, the weather can change quicker than anything, and that could instantly change your plans for the following day or the following few days.
No, you're right, mate. Listen, it's one of those, like, I mean, I don't know, I'd say this is for the majority of us, but I can go to sleep and wake up at 3 o'clock worrying about, right, I can hear it raining outside. That's going to affect now what I'm going to do for the rest of the week, etc. I mean, going back a couple of years ago when I was only doing Charlie part-time, I had a full-time job, and we'd taken the pitch off, but we don't have an irrigation system or a proper one at Charlie. And it was that summer when it didn't rain for 8 months. 8 months, 8 years. That would have been a long time, by the way.
God, I wish it didn't rain for 8 months in Wales.
Yeah, so it didn't rain for 8 weeks. So I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going watering the pitch at Charlie, going to work, and then going back to Charlie at 10 o'clock, and that lasted for probably a good 6-7 weeks before the weather kind of broke and that. So it's kind of like sometimes you feel like everything's against you all the time.
And again, I bet you. It was probably appreciated, but again, that's unseen. Like, but no one knew you were doing that. No one knew that you were trying to do 2 roles, and I think that's what does go beyond, especially with our jobs. A lot of it goes on behind the scenes, and no one really knows or understands. Like they turn up and they want to see a game of football or rugby, but they don't realise it's taken 3-4 days to prepare for that.
No, and I tell you what, we'll go on to the social media kind of aspect then with that what you just said there, because people are too quick to judge on just seeing a picture or seeing a little highlight on the pitch. I mean, are you on social media? Do you do it, or is that kind of a reason that you don't go on it?
No, I've gone. I am on it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, at times it can be quite frustrating, especially like when you can spend 2 or 3 days working in the constant ring. Like especially a few years ago when we were just working, it was constantly raining and we were forking non-stop the whole of the pitch, and we were giving out everything, and then it was just felt like we wasn't being supported by the fans effectively. Like, they'd have a go at the soonest, quickest thing.
Yeah.
And it was hard work then, and you sort of feel like undervalued.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you work, you just feel like you can win. But yeah, I think now I've sort personally, me now, I'm 27 now, and I've matured now to the fact of you just got to let it go over the shoulders.
Do you think it affects you though, like seeing a negative comment?
Yeah, it definitely used to more now than it definitely used to.
Yeah.
But now I think I've learned now you have to like let it leave it there.
Yeah.
Because if it does play on your mind, it does go back to the question of like you never switch off.
No.
And you can't be worrying about what A said on social media and B said on social media.
Yeah.
Me personally, like whether it's the right way or wrong, I've always wanted, as long as I'm keeping my bosses happy.
Yeah.
And my employers, that's all I can do.
Yeah, of course.
Like don't get social media can be a very horrible place, as we can see now lately with sadly all them remarks all the footballers are getting.
Yeah.
No one deserves that to be criticised for doing that. No one deserves any racial marks or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, I just let it go over my head. I know some people it does get to them.
Yeah.
And it does get them down, and it's pretty hard sometimes waking up on Boxing Day, knowing you're going into work in not just wet conditions to try and get a game on, but knowing if this game doesn't get on, you're going to have a lot of stick on social media and negative feedback.
Yeah. See, on the flip side, mate, I've done quite well out of it, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, I'm one of those, I'll bore you to death with pictures of grass, etc. and that, but I've had the benefit from it, if you know what I mean, kind of with the FA Cup coverage. So again, at Chorley, we do have a heavily used pitch. We have the 3 teams on it. So we have the first team, the 21s, the B-Tech, the first team train on it once, twice a week, and that. Yeah. And if you can keep the pitch quite kind of playable, like you said, people do appreciate it. But when people just see maybe, oh, why is there no grass on it? And it's a totally different ball game from what I do to what you do. Can you see a massive difference when there's been a rugby union game on it compared to?
Well, definitely. Like for example, nowadays in scrums in rugby, it's effectively not far off 900 kilograms per pack of forwards.
Right.
So that's not that far off 210 being pushed in one area.
Yeah.
How
many scrums is there per game as well? Because
there's a fair few, and what tends to happen is you're in the same area.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I love really going to the reference. You can just move over 2 meters.
And he won't.
You can't do it because it's stopping them on a play. But yeah, like that's what tends to kill us. Is like going up to the wetter months of like November, December, January. That's when the more scrimmaging happens and the ball's effectively kept at the jumper in rugby.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes harder for us. But then when you go into January, February, when the pitch is really wet, football probably cuts up more as well.
Yeah.
Just because, as you know yourself, there's more blade marks or they're skidding.
Yeah.
And sometimes I say a joke, but sometimes I do feel when I go on a pitch after the football match, I can see where every stud mark is.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, I think it is the same. Rugby doesn't help.
No.
But then it is a rugby ground, so.
It is, mate. Predominantly, it is, and the thing is, kind of like it's making the best use of the facility for the town, isn't it? I mean, you've got your 2 rugby union clubs in there with your football, and it is a dual sports ground, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, unfortunately for us, unfortunately now where we are commercially, in the money world, Newport has to have that. We have to have them at one stadium. We can't afford to have them at 2. We can't afford in Newport to have 2 stadiums. Yeah. Especially at a professional standard.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. Like, don't get me wrong, we've had some fantastic experiences with a football at our stadium.
Yeah.
We've had Man City there.
Yeah.
We've had Spurs. We've had Leeds. We've had we've had loads of them.
Yeah.
And like this year, unfortunately for the fans, we got to see Swansea, Newcastle, and Brighton.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it would be like in that atmosphere with a Swansea City there.
No, but yeah.
So it's been great. Like, I never have thought when I started at the stadium 10 years ago, I was going to see the likes of Harry Kane and De Bruyne and Sterling when not on the pitch. I only thought it'd be rugby players.
Yeah.
And that's been great for us boys. Like, that's always like, even though we know it's going to be a hard game to get ready, and we know we're going to get probably slammed a little bit on social media.
Yeah.
It's just been great when you realise you've done a full day's hard work and you're seeing them players.
Yeah.
It's a sort of pick me up at the end then.
There is, mate. There's like a big self-satisfaction in there to say,
Definitely.
We've done well, actually. Do you know what? Listen, and no disrespect, it might not like absolutely brilliant to what they're used to, but you've done your job, like you said previously, that you've actually...
No, it's great. Like, honestly, It's been fantastic. Like, I've loved it. Like, that's the one thing I would say about the football I've enjoyed the most is the experience they've given us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're now... I certainly will never have the opportunity to prep a surface for the likes of Man City or anyone like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's been great.
Have you come up against any teams that have been hard work in the warm-ups, etc.? Kind of like...
Yeah. We do tend to have a few over the years. You do have a run-in with certain teams, and like the more like I get on with a lot of them now.
Yeah.
And then to be fair to them, a lot of them are good as gold when you explain of what you asked for, and
exactly,
like,
mate, yeah.
A lot of them work. Some of them do come down with a bit of arrogance about them.
Yeah.
But even then, to be fair, they normally come back down to earth effectively, and they do listen.
Yeah.
Like, we only ask for simple things like the fast feet to be done off the pitch and stuff like that. And we're never asking for the whole warm-up to be off. We're only asking for a little bit.
Yeah, and there is enough space to do it in there. And sometimes you do get them teams what would be awkward. I mean, I've kind of, over the last year, kind of relaxed about it a bit. I used to get worked up when people would say, kind of, we're doing the fast feet on the pitch. Well, there's room there. So then but I started to realise, well, I don't want to come across as that guy who's arguing with a coach. You know what I mean? You ask him politely, and if he doesn't want to do it, there's not much you can do about it then. You've just got to hold your hands up and just say, well, if you want to be kind of an idiot about it, then you be an idiot. But
so, like, what's good about the EFL? Like, they do have a pitch protection plan in place.
Yeah.
And they give you certain regulations. And I've learned that, like a bit of a Bible, really.
Yeah.
And when you start quoting certain things, they do tend to listen.
Yeah.
I found, to be honest, the warm-ups are pretty good now. They've learned what's like to be at Rodney Parade and what we expect.
Yeah.
Sometimes there can be different, like some challenges with the warm-downs, especially with the bigger clubs. But again, they fully understand we're not quite as we haven't got like the luxury they have got.
Yeah.
But yeah, they come down to our level. But yeah, they listen straight away as well, to be fair to them.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, it's in their best interest to kind of keep the pitch play in the best possible condition for the match. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
Obviously doing the running on the pitch, etc., is only going to affect them when they come to play the match and that. So, is there any plans, obviously, to maybe get the pitch kind of a lot better for next year? I mean, we spoke about this 6 pitch a few moments ago prior to recording and that. So what's going to happen with us? So we've had our Playmaster pitch now for 3 years. Yeah. And now with that, unfortunately, I had a 3-year lifespan. So we reached his lifespan, and we were about to press a button on a hybrid, fully stitched. Unfortunately, COVID come along and pretty much done what it's doing now, and it's stopped the world. Yeah. So again, this year, then we had to nurture the pitch from game by game, literally from the first game of football in August now to the very last game, which hopefully could be a playoff game. Yeah. We've had some white challenges this year. We've lost a few games they took away from the stadium just to give the pitch a rest, which we really needed. So now, we pressed the button on. We're going to have a fully stitched pitch now, beginning in June, July. Being fully stitched. I think the works they do start in May. Yeah. It's quite exciting for us. Yeah. To have a free draining pitch. It's going to give us half a battle. Don't get me wrong. The weather in Wales have a bigger say than what we do. Yeah. It does give us a chance, and it gives us something to work with. It does, man. Like I said, the weather plays a big part all over the country, man. I mean, listen, we've had 21 degrees here in the northwest, and then next Tuesday we go back down to 4 degrees and it's snowing. So it's just madness, man. I mean, listen, the kids are off over on Easter holidays this time, so we've all booked to go golfing next Tuesday, and it's snowing. I'm sure you'll be fine. You'll just take an umbrella. But
it's the same with us. Like we've had about 3-4 weeks off now, and we sort of had a mini renovation where we vertically drained, seeded, sanded it a bit.
Yeah.
And only in the last probably 7 days, maybe 9 days, the temperatures in the evenings have allowed the seed to grow.
Yeah. So just
we've been having nice temperatures. Yeah, we've been having like nice 11, 12 degrees in the daytime.
Yeah.
But in the night, then it's been plummeting to just above zero, which everyone thinks just because the pitch is out of recovery time, it doesn't help. It does help, obviously, but it doesn't get that seed germinating.
No.
So we got it germinating now, and it's looking okay. It's still patchy.
Yeah.
But it's a massive improvement than what it was, and it's going to get us to the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, mate. If there's an end goal, like you say, of having the pitch stitched and that, it's something to look forward to for next year. And I'm sure obviously the clubs that are going to be playing on it will appreciate actually the effort that you've realised that, right, we need to do something about the pitch. And this is kind of what we're getting at the end goal now. So
yeah, to be fair to our hierarchy, they're fully understanding.
Yeah.
They know it's pretty much overused. Don't get me wrong, it does increase our income.
Yeah.
Which obviously at this time I was in the world now, it's vital.
Yeah.
But they are going to improve the facility, so that's all that matters really. Then we have to just now pick up the tools and basically now get on with it. But I will look at me and the boys are excited by it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great challenge for us to learn again, to learn now something new again, how to maintain a fully hybrid surface again, which is a new experience for us. And yeah, I'm definitely excited by it.
No, made up for you, mate. No, absolutely made up for you. Well, listen, thanks for that. Really appreciate it. I'm sure all the viewers will appreciate your kind of view from and kind of talking about how hard the job is from your perspective as well, mate. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.